Larry Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio here on the Voice of Liberty. And if you want to call and talk to me, you can. But after the first break, 585-346-3000. You know, I was thinking about when my daughter was little, my oldest daughter was little, and we would sometimes go to birthday parties. Now, when I was a kid and we went to birthday parties, I would head over and usually I would bring some kind of gift, or my mom would, depending on how old I was. But either way, we'd go together and I would bring a gift for the birthday kid, right? Usually that's what we do. And then we give the gifts. Maybe we put them next to the front door when you come into the apartment. I grew up in the Bronx, so everyone's in apartments. So you go there, or maybe you give them a gift, a card with some money in it or something, whatever was the thing, right? But you gave it to them. And then we'd hang out, have fun, maybe play some games, eat some cake, and have a little ceremony when the kid would open up the presents. That seemed normal to me. And I think if you're of my age range, you probably remember that. Those days are long gone. That's not true anymore. Now, when I go to the birthday kid's party, they got to give me gifts. Yes. So they're going to give my kid gifts. They call them like goodie bags or gift bags or something. So now, when I go to someone else's house with my kid, they're going to give my kid a present on the other kid's birthday. Yeah. And if you have a young kid, you know what I'm talking about. So now, not the birthday kid also gets gifts. I thought to myself, wait a minute, why is that happening? So I actually asked, this is years ago, like, well, we don't want the other kids to feel bad. And I went, oh, won't they feel good on their birthday? Isn't like that the thing? No. Well, you might say, well, Larry, why do you care? Do I really care? A little bit, but not crazy. But there was one time that I remember that the gifts for the guest kids, not the birthday kid, were better than the birthday kids' gifts. And I said, wait a minute. So what if I'm that kid? So I'm that kid, it's my birthday, and the people who came got better gifts than me, and it's my birthday? Something's wrong. That's not supposed to be that way. But that happened. I thought to myself, why would that happen? Then I figured it out. That parent was so concerned with helping the other kids and making them look so good, and that they felt good about themselves, that they were showing off. They didn't care about their own kid. Wow. Okay, why do I tell you that story? Because sadly, that's actually New York State. That's New York City. And we're finding out now the amount of money that we have thrown at other people's kids. Yes, I am doing air quotes. And what do I mean by that? Migrants. They're other people's kids. You may say, but Larry, they're humans. They are, true, no doubt. They're true, yes. But so are the people who live here in New York City. They're also people. They're also humans who could use a lot of help too. And there are kids. They're fellow New Yorkers. They're fellow Americans. Well, we didn't seem to care. We wanted to show off to the world, right? No. That would have been crazy. We're not that crazy. We found out now. With the Roosevelt Hotel here in New York, in Manhattan, with it now no longer becoming a migrant shelter. You might say, oh, well, that's because it's done its job and it's helped out people, and the glorious Americans at the Roosevelt Hotel have made us look good. No, on every level. Number one, the Roosevelt Hotel was about to go under. Why was it going to go under? Because of COVID lockdowns. Oh, yeah. Those lockdowns that helped so many people that Cuomo was jumping him out, who's probably going to run for mayor coming up here. That about put them under. By 2021, they were going to go under. But they didn't. Why not? Well, because the people at the Roosevelt Hotel clearly were able to be business gurus, make a work with finance, figure out a plan, reorg, and create a better product and make money. No, of course not. No. They got a government bailout. And what was that government bailout? The Migrant Industrial Complex. Oh, yes. Over the next 3 years, the Roosevelt Hotel went from making virtually nothing, being devastated, to making over $220 million in 3 years. Correct. More than it ever made. More than it ever made. And how? Uncle Joe was writing checks. Oh, yes, he was. Lots of them. He wrote all of the checks. He kept writing them. $220 million. That's just one hotel. There were over 100. That was just one. Boy, I like that. You might go, well, Larry, I get it. We still have to make sure that these American companies survive. It's the tourist industry. Come on. Well, that would be good. Except, you know who owns the Roosevelt Hotel? The Pakistani government. Oh my God, I wish I was joking. I'm not. So we decided to bail out the Roosevelt Hotel, AKA the Pakistani government, the government that was hiding Osama bin Laden. We thought that was a good idea. Uncle Joe was writing the checks, happily writing them all day long. Now, I'm obviously not an Eric Adams fan, but at least he was saying the truth. He was saying, we can't do this. This isn't going to work. It's going to destroy my city. He did say that on record, on video, years ago. He's like, this migrant stuff is going to destroy my city. We can't fix it. Yeah, he's right. I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. Yes. So we decided, I don't want to fix migrants. I'm just going to keep writing checks. We're going to make tons and tons of cash off of this. Again, the Roosevelt Hotel is one of 100 hotels. There's more than 100. One. That's the most famous and the biggest one, because the government was paying them over $200 per night, per room. They have 1,000 rooms. Let me say it again. The government was paying them over $200 per night, per room. They have over 1,000 rooms. Yeah. Nice. It's great. Not just that. The government said, okay, when you come here and process them, and yes, I am doing air quotes, when you process them, if they have family someplace else in America, you got to give them a bus ticket. I'm not joking. Again, I wish I was. So now bus companies got bailed out. Look at that. Government's bailing everybody out. So bus companies get bailed out. So imagine if just, 25% and more of them left than that, but say 25% took advantage of the bus ticket. We had 200,000 migrants, give or take, that we know of. 50,000 said, I'll take a ticket. Average, say, $100 ticket. Maybe some are less, some are more. Whatever, $100. $5 million. Gone. 220 million to them. 5 million to the bus company. And probably more. Just made it up. How about the airliners? Government pay for that too. How about chow? How about food? Per diem, as they call it. Per diem. That was paid out to NGOs, nonprofits, hotels. $388 per day. Let me say it again. $388 per day. Most Americans don't make $388 per day. What about all the New Yorkers who are struggling? How about that? All that money? And I said all the time, if you're gonna bail people out, and obviously as a libertarian, I don't want bailouts. But if you're gonna bail people out, just bail out the people. Just write all of us a check. Write the stimmy check, right? Again, I'm not saying I want the government to bail people out, but I recognize it's happening. Why do we keep bailing out people who are either elites or literally our enemies? If you're going to bail people out, take the amount of cash you want to burn. Okay, I want to burn $220 million. Got it. In New York City. I'm sorry, we actually going to burn through this year in just New York City, $12 billion. Some of you just fell off your chair. I know. $12 billion just on migrants from 2022 till this year, 2025. $12 billion. Okay. You decide, hey, I want to burn $12 billion. Okay, I got it. Take that money, divide it by 8 million New Yorkers, write everybody a check. Take some extra cash. Go out, enjoy yourself, pay a bill, right? Do something. Put some money in the bank. Go out and splurge on some stuff you want to splurge on. Whatever. Go get the economy going. Take that $12 billion. Again, that's just New York City. Divvy it up among 8 million New Yorkers. Write them a check. Go spend some money. Go to a play with your friends. Go to a Yankee game. Whatever. Go do what you like. No. We bail them out for more and more cash. You might say, well, Larry, it's good. We're fixing it. We're not fixing it. We're stopping it, believe it or not, because Trump got mad. I'm not joking. He said, I don't know if I want to give you this last $80 million. That was a check that Uncle Joe was supposed to write. And Trump said, I don't know. I may not write that check. Adams said, I can't survive without that check. I need that check. You got to give me that check. All of a sudden, Eric Adams is like, Holman, my friend, come on into the city. What do you need? What can I do for you? You want to go to Rikers Island? Let me get you a car. That's what it was. Yes. It's always about the cash. We don't solve the problem. We don't fix anything unless we have to. And here we go, dropping more and more cash. Can we fix it? I hope we can. How do you feel about it? Tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty. Back with your calls and your internet chat after the break.
Only available in the WYSL store at WYSL1040.com. Official top quality tees, hoodies depicting the colorful WYSL logo or the already famous Mount Worstmore line of merch depicting Mount Rushmore style are for worst presidents. Of course, you know who is front and center up on that mountain. WYSL official items make perfect gifts, or they're a great way for you to make a personal statement. Locally produced and sold only in the WYSL store at WYSL1040.com.
Dion, you see this most likable spokesperson poll?
Really? I might know somebody. We're looking forward to this today, aren't we?
Seriously, guys. We're a team. We're not competing against each other.
Ooh, who's a good spokesperson?
2 puppies? I did not expect that from you.
Oh, one of them's for you. Oh, here you go. Ooh, who's a good spokesperson? Yes, go to West Her. Oh.
Welcome to West Her, New York.
Hi, my name is Evan Spindleman, founder and owner of Flood Broker. Flood insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and if you have to have flood insurance coverage to secure your mortgage, you owe it to yourself to call me to see how I can save you money on your flood insurance premium. The insurance programs I use are bank accepted and will satisfy your loan requirement. Please give me a call at 585-736-4366 today to get a free no obligation quote. That's 585-736-4366. Call today.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. 585-346-3000 is the number. I have been talking about the Migrant Industrial Complex. And here's the part that I didn't bring up before, which actually makes it worse. You might say, Larry, could it be worse? Oh, yes, it could be. Prior to there being a migrant industrial complex, because of the lockdowns, there was clearly a homeless problem. Still is. But there was a homeless problem in New York City, New York State, the country. So the hotels, who were all struggling from the lockdowns, again, state-imposed lockdowns that devastated them, the state said, we'll hook you up. We will write you a check for homeless people. Just take them in your hotels because we can't put them in our places. And some of the places we go to, we don't have the admin. You'll deal with it and we'll pay you. So that was the initial bailout. Now that came from the state and the city. That didn't come from the federal government. And the state and the city said, here's money. And it was like $100 and some odd per night per hotel. And you might say, Larry, that's not a lot of money for New York City. You're right. Lots of hotels in New York City, $400 or $500 a night. True, yes. But how about I get to fill your hotel every single night, max capacity. And these are homeless people who don't understand what's going on. Many of them have issues and concerns, and they're not going to ask for anything. And if you treat them poorly, we don't care. So they're not going to have customer service issues. So just do that. And a bunch of hotels said, deal. And a lot of those people happen to be veterans. That kind of made them float a little bit. Then all of a sudden, migrants come in droves. And when they come, the federal government steps in. Well, that's federal money. Federal money never goes away, ever. Why? Money printer go burr. Just make that money, make it rain. Well, I can get that. And I get more money. And the people who come in now aren't homeless. They're migrants. They have no rights. I can do anything I want to them. I can ignore them, treat them horribly. Doesn't matter. And the government will come in and pay for not just their housing, but their food. And now I have vendors who I owe money to that I couldn't pay because I'm basically bankrupt. I'll give them the government contract and they'll forget about my debt. Again, I wish I was joking. No. So, hey, Johnny, I know I owe you $100,000. I could just not pay you. You can take me to court, or I could hook you up with this government contract and you could rip that invoice up. And he goes, let me rip that invoice right up. Gone. What's $100,000 between friends? Nothing. And before you know it, he has government contracts, and that government contract gets him $180 per migrant per day for 3 years straight. He doesn't care about my $100,000. Does not care at all. So it went from a homeless industrial complex. So that's why we didn't solve it. Because you're asking yourself, Larry, New York has lots of people, lots of money, lots of brain power. We could solve this, couldn't we? Of course we could. Why would we? We've made a homeless industrial complex. Well, so now we went to a migrant industrial complex. Well, how bad is that? Well, then they threw the homeless people out. So now they're on a subway setting people on fire. Yeah. Of course. Match it with the migrant people who are setting people on fire. So yeah, now they're working together. See that? We have unity after all. This is an embarrassment, as always, but it's about the cash. We don't solve problems because government steps in to reward family, friends, cronies. We see this all the time. New York State is just the perfect example of it. And these stories just drive me crazy. Let me grab a couple of comments from the chat. This is John. John says, money hasn't fixed our education system, nor the MTA. Money hasn't been the solution in New York, and I don't see it changing. Correct. And what do you hear constantly, John? Well, Larry, if there was just more funding, that would change everything. If there was just more funding, that's what we need. You evil people want to cut the funding because you hate the children or whatever. You hate whatever. You're an ist or a phobe. Insert ist or phobe. No, I actually want things to be solved. And throwing money at it doesn't work. So yes. Zach says, it pays getting subsidies for nothing. Yes, that's true. I love that. Why would I bother having a better business model? Why would I bother trying to figure out how to have a better product or service when I can just grift off the government? Zach is correct. Way easier, way better. There is no, why would I gamble? Makes no sense. But here's the worst part. Think about how many New Yorkers, and if you aren't one of them, you surely know one, who is literally 1 month of no income away from financial disaster. If they go 1 month without any income, they're in financial disaster that they may never be able to get out of. Think about that. Now, am I mad at rich people making money? I'm not. Rich people who are making money, make money. I'm not mad at you for that. Enjoy. Am I mad that our government is deciding to throw money at rich people when the other people are struggling? Yes, I am. It's no different than that parent who decides to spend more money on the guest kids, who I don't remember any of their names. My daughter isn't even their friend anymore, so we don't remember them anymore, right? They're all gone from like elementary school. Than her own kid. Now, if she was buying her own kid tons of stuff, and she was very wealthy, and she loves spending money, and she wants to give lots of money to her kid and to all her friends, whatever. But I don't see New York as being someplace where everybody's making tons of money, where everybody's in a great spot. We have so much money we can just give away to other people. I mean, maybe I'm in a different New York, but if you live in New York, do you see that? Here's what the data tells me. The data tells me New York State has the worst wealth gap of any state in the entire country. Worst. 50th. We're the best at that. Take that, California. We're worse than you. Can't mess with us. We are the worst. Now, with that in mind, why am I throwing $12 billion at migrants? Makes no sense. So I'm not mad at rich people for making money. Go make money. But make money because you have a better product or a better service, or people want to buy your stuff, or you market smartly, or whatever. Not because government says, I want to burn $12 billion. The wrong answer. That's the problem. Marie says, Migrant Industrial Complex, it's so sad it's a real thing. Government doesn't solve problems. It creates complexes. Am I wrong? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe on the Voice of Liberty here in glorious Western New York on Sharpe Way Radio. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
God bless America.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon, Rochester. WLEA WCKR FM, Parnell.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. Temps will drop down near freezing. Watch a little icy spot or two. On Wednesday, increasing clouds. About all of the day will be dry. We'll see a few rain or snow showers coming in Wednesday night. On Thursday, rain showers in the morning will end to snow showers as it turns windy and colder in the afternoon and back into the 20s with snow showers Friday. I'm Rich Cornelia for the Voice of Liberty.
Canisteo Valley Update.
Hornell Mayor John Buckley gave his State of the City speech Monday night at Hornell City Hall, where he stated that Hornell is a city on a roll.
Hornell is on a roll.
In the speech, Buckley highlighted City Hall staff and city employees. Named and publicly thanked in his speech were Hornell City Chamberlain Michelle Smith, Hornell IDA Director Mike Nesbitt, Hornell Deputy Mayor Chester.
Okay, we have a caller, David, and then after David, we have Keith.
Lenny Fucci, Water
You're welcome.
Pollution Control Chief Rich Dunning, Hat Bus Supervisor Kim Courtney, DPW Chief Mitch Cornish, Codes Officer Bud Burdett, Police Chief Ted Murray, Fire Chief Frank Przowski, and Hornell City Planner Heather Reynolds. The mayor received a lot of applause at the end of his State of the City speech. Brian O'Neill for the Voice of Liberty.
Debunking advertising from the law office of Christopher Johnson. Get a load of some of those injury attorney TV ads. There they are. Rescuing cats out of trees, helping seniors with walkers cross the street, playing with slot cars, or getting people on the street to sing their musical jingle on camera. Are these guys running law firms or selling Klondike bars? Fun is fun, but when you've been seriously injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle crash, or on unsafe premises, funny stuff isn't your focus. Getting better and getting your life back on track is. That's where the one-on-one personal focus of Christopher Johnson comes in. When he represents you, you get 100% of his attention to help you get every dollar you're entitled to under the law. It's a client-focused commitment, not cuteness. This Straight Talk comes to you from Christopher Johnson Attorney, car, truck, motorcycle accidents, personal injury, and DWI defense. Call 585-415-3803. That's 585-415-3803.
Your go-to standard of specialized business insurance coverage. MGM Associates of Rochester, now serving the region and beyond in New York. Since 1984, MGM has provided leading coverage from a wide range of carriers. Not only home, condo, motorcycle...
Okay, I asked Keith to keep it brief, so after Keith, we'll have Mike.
Law firms.
So David, Keith, Mike, thanks.
MGM Associates of Rochester provides auto, workers' comp, healthcare, and liability insurance. Choose from virtual appointments or good old in-office, in-person consults by appointment at our Penfield office. 5-time consecutive winner of the National Best Practices Award. MGM is proud to support veterans groups. For your personal, business, home, or professional insurance needs, meet the experienced staff at MGM Associates, locally and proudly owned at 1745 Penfield Road in Penfield, 381-7008 or mgminsured.com. An associate of Chautauqua Patrons Insurance, 523 West 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York.
Are you looking to update the kitchen, bath, or flooring in your home? Whether it's cabinetry, carpeting, hardwood flooring, tile, or kitchen and bathroom remodeling, Claridge Design Center in Chilai Paul Plaza is the place to start. At Claridge, the visions and ideas you have for your home are developed with the experienced Claridge designers to make your dream project a reality. And the quality of service you receive at Claridge is second to none. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call Claridge at 889-5800 or visit their website, claridgedesigncenter.com.
Hungry for something truly delicious? Tom Walls uses fresh ground steak to make the best cheeseburger in the world. We use a pie plate to press out every burger just for you. Cheesy? We got it covered. 2 slices of Kraft American cheese to top it off to make your smile just as cheesy as your burger. I'm Madeline from Tom Walls, and I want to serve you the best cheeseburger.
Share the good, good times. Share the good times. Tom Walls.
We may worry about pipes freezing or getting irritated when our car doesn't warm up quickly, but imagine living without a home in this weather, surviving outside. Frostbite and hyperthermia are a reality. You can help by giving to opendoormission.com today.
WYSL.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. 585-346-3000 is the number. I've been chatting about New York City and the migrant crisis and the Migrant Industrial Complex. Taking all your calls and your chat. Let me go to the phones if I could. I want to grab David if I could. David, how are you?
I'm fine. I used to live down in Miami Beach, just after the Mario boat lift.
Mm-hmm.
Prices for real estate down there went way down. I mean, you could get a one-bedroom condo block away from the beach for like $29,500.
Wow.
What happened was a lot of the Mario boat lift people went over to the beach. A lot of the businesses and people and all the tourist people ended up going over to Coconut Grove.
Ooh, okay.
So my brother was there for 2 years. He ended up buying one of those condos. 2 years later, when they came back in and started having the police come in, take care of stuff, that same condo went for $54,000.
Nice investment.
Okay, now apply that same principle to what they're doing to these big cities.
Yeah.
And you have people like Vanguard and Blackstone or BlackRock.
Yes, BlackRock. Yes.
They've got trillions of dollars. So why wouldn't anybody think that they're trying to run down the value of the property in these big cities just so that they can come in and scoop them up for pennies on the dollar?
I don't think that you're wrong at all. If you look at some of the data right now, if you remember just recently, Kathy Hochul's talking about making it illegal for the private equity firms to buy individual houses. That's her talk. She hasn't done it yet, but that's her talk. Why? Because you're right. They're dumping all the properties now. You see it particularly in Florida. Private equity is getting out of this business. You see Warren Buffett keeping a bunch of cash. You're exactly right. They're all getting liquid. The top guys get liquid because they know there's about to be a crash. And when a crash comes, they buy it all up. I don't think, David, what you're saying is crazy at all. In fact, I think there's evidence to prove you're right.
Now, the other thing is, do you remember back when Obama had a bunch of people going into different cities doing a study as to where they could put these people? Like up in Rochester, they were looking at the Kodak building.
Yep, I remember.
So this whole plan has been going on, in my mind, for over 12 years.
You might be right, my friend. David, thank you so much for that insight. I appreciate the call. Let me grab another call if I could. Let me grab Keith. Keith, how are you, sir?
I'm okay. There's a call behind me, so I was told to keep it shorter. In answer to Dave, first, the Mariel boat lift happened under the weak Jimmy Carter administration. And a lot of times, these hotels, like Dave was mentioning, are torn apart by the illegals. That will bring down property values. He mentioned that the illegals during Carter's time hit the beach there. They had less money, the illegals did, so that drove property values down. I want to talk about another immigrant who made it big, and that's Elon Musk. Now,
He did make it big, you're right.
If you come from a country to begin with, those are strikes against you, but politely they say Mr. Musk falls somewhere on the autistic spectrum, but he sure figured out how to make it big. Now, I want to say quickly, now that he's supposedly on our side, us conservatives, fellow conservatives are saying, well, you can't call Elon Musk a welfare queen. Yes, the American taxpayer has made him the richest person in the world. The conservatives are quick to say, "Oh, but he's doing things for our country and we're paying him." It's not like we're just giving it, but he found out a way. And I don't care what my fellow conservatives say. If you really have soaked us taxpayers, you don't get to be as rich as he is. And I don't care about his would-be autism. He really learned how to play the game. So Elon Musk, in closing, is different from other foreigners or even refugees coming in, admittedly with strikes against them. Old Elon there found a way big time to play the game. And wouldn't we all like to do it? But I, as a conservative and a taxpayer, I resent Elon Musk getting that rich from us American taxpayers, and it's kind of hypocritical. He's doing the Doge thing. I like to see his books on how he got that rich at the hands of the American taxpayer. But no, none of my fellow conservatives will go that route now that Elon is supposedly at our side. What do you say to that?
Well, I would, so many things now, Keith. You often give me a lot. You gave me a lot this time too. Let me try to cover a couple of them if I could. The first one is, I'm not upset for any immigrant coming to America. If I wasn't American, I'd probably want to come here too. The issue is, how do we handle them? Do we make a migrant industrial complex? Do we even let them in the first place? Do we make them wait outside? Do we have a vetting process? That's on us. So I'm mad at no migrant for coming. I'm mad at our government for either not letting them in, right? Don't let them in, or let them in with a plan for vetting and not a migrant industrial complex. We have done neither of that. We just let them in. Exactly the wrong answer. So I'm not mad at any migrant for coming to America. It is our job as our country to create the appropriate security, the appropriate ideas, the appropriate mindset to make this happen. Number one. Number two, yes, without question, Elon Musk, you are correct, Keith, is a government grifter. No doubt. Clearly true. And with that in mind, I'm with you. I don't care, though. I don't care that he is, but I admit that he is. Trump is not a conservative, right? He's not. I don't care. What I care is, are they doing things that are helping my country be better? Now, am I 100% sure if this is all going to work out right now? To be forward, Keith, I'm not. Do I always have concerns and worries? You've heard me mention them right here on this show. However, I have a big however. Without Trump and Elon, we have seen that what we get is status quo. We get no change. We get nothing changing. So that's bad for sure. I know that doesn't work. Elon and Trump might work. So far changing. One of the things they've done is shown a light on New York City and the Migrant Industrial Complex. I can't be mad at that. Am I making sense, Keith?
Yes. They are the D word. They are true disruptors working in tandem.
Yes.
They are change agents. I'll give them that. They're change agents. They're disruptors. But oh my God, I like to see the true ledger for Elon Musk. He knows how to play the game. You don't get as rich as he is taking the American taxpayer through the mill without doing something along the way. I want to see his books that he's so eager to see everyone else's books.
I like it, Keith. Thank you so much for the call, my friend. All right, let me grab one more caller if I could. This is Mike. Mike, how are you, sir?
Larry.
What's going on?
Hey, this is the Mike. Hey, I won't go into Keith's thing there. I got my other opinions with that. But speaking of the migrants and their food allowances of over $300 a day, what about our prisoners in New York State? Okay, their food allowance for 3 meals a day is $10. From what I've been able to find out. $10, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay? Wait a minute. The illegals came in as criminals. We have our own homegrown criminals here. We fed them, 3% less than we were feeding the other guys. Okay?
You're not
Plus
wrong.
right now, Plus, right now with all the lockdowns in the prisons, because Holko's, I believe in the unions and everything, but she's screwing over all the COs and the prison units. Okay, and all these guys now, because there's nobody to guard them, they're shoved in their cells and they're getting 2 bologna sandwiches a day. Okay, they're getting, as Eddie Murphy would say, a wish sandwich, 2 pieces of bread, and they wish they had something in between.
Yes. No, look, the reality, this goes back to my point. Wouldn't I rather fix my prison system if I'm going to sit here and give $12 billion away? Maybe I can take that $12 billion and invest into my prison system. Maybe that's better. Maybe I won't even just go, not just the prisoners, them too, of course, but maybe I also help out my COs. Maybe I give them a better package. Maybe I give them better mental health because a lot of them are considering ending themselves. Maybe I give better food to both. Maybe I have better commissary. I don't even know what the right answer is, but there's a whole lot of answers I could have picked up, right? Maybe I have better recruiting for COs because nobody wants to be I'm sorry. For those of you listening who don't know, CO means corrections officer, or what someone might think of as a prison guard. It's more than a prison guard. That's why they call them a correction officer. So I'm sorry. I say CO because I know my father was a CO in Rikers Island. But to your point, Mike, there's so much we could have done with homegrown New Yorkers here and not made a migrant industrial complex. I agree with you. Thank you so much for the call, Mike. Look, I'm not against migrants coming. If they want to come, I get it. I'd want to come too. It is our job as a government to have the right way of bringing them in, or don't bring them in. Either one is okay. And we've got to also be prepared to help our own. In a state where we're this broken, it makes no sense. Am I wrong? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe on the Voice of Liberty, Sharpe Way Radio, back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Donald Trump and conservatives may have won, but you know the left will unceasingly try to undermine society and spread evil, targeting the innocent and God-fearing, especially our children. Help promote a truth-based society and try something different in 2025. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Reach our huge audience, entertained, inspired, and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable, effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 585-346-3000 to advertise.
Most banks offer you a choice. Or maybe it would be better to say they demand a choice. Technology so you can bank like you want to, or relationships so you can get advice when you need it. But when you choose to bank with Tompkins, you can have it all. Powerful technology and the power of a face-to-face talk about your future. Because both are part of the best banking relationship you'll ever have. Tompkins, your bank of choice. Open an account today at tompkinsbank.com.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery has a great deal on Tuesdays. A large 4-topping pizza for $18, regular or gluten-free. Call 226-9575. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery in Avon.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs. Get your rifle, shotgun, or pistol serviced and tuned before you take it to the field. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes. Larry Sharpe is here. Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. So glad you're giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. Boy, we've been talking a lot about the migrants, about the industrial complex, about government not solving anything, but instead finding a way to grift and to give money to their cronies, to their donors, and to avoid fixing anything or making life better for New Yorkers. John says, and who was running to fix the prison system? Make happier COs, and treat inmates with basic human decency. Larry Sharpe. That's true. When I ran for governor in 2018 and in 2022, I brought up the prison problems, the prison systems. I brought up the fact that back then, Cuomo, who, by the way, may run for mayor, literally ignored the Corrections Officers Union for 3 years. Yes, those of you may not know that, but for 3 years, the corrections officers did not have a contract. And you can't quit. You can't do anything because you can't shut down prisons, can you? You can't just walk away from your prisoners, can you? So they took zeros, no raises for 3 years. That's how much Cuomo cared about the COs. I brought that up a long time ago. Not just that, when there's a problem like that, then you know what else happens? And you see it's happening right now. Now, family members can't visit prisoners. You might say, Larry, why do we care about that? Because there are some people in prison right now who should probably never get out. Most of them do not have family who visit them, of those types of prisoners. They don't, because those family members don't want anything to do with them. But there's a lot of people in prison right now who either should be in prison or should do their time and then get a second chance at life. Well, who will they need? Family to support them. We want family visiting them so that when they get out, they don't go back in. We want them to be connected to their family. So when they get out, they don't go back in. So we want to support the families. We want to support the COs. That's how you actually fix the system. Those two things. That's it. So anyway, Kim says, does the Pakistani government own all of those hotels? No. Believe it or not, it's owned by an airline officially. It's not officially directly owned by the Pakistani government. It's owned by a Pakistani airline that is owned by the Pakistani government. So it's one step removed. But yes, yeah, that's the problem.
Roger.
So Mike says, Dems only throw money at problems. They never fix problems, but it does fund donors. It does. I mean, that's the point, right? A lot of people think the people in New York City, the people in New York State, they're messing up. They're not messing up. They're doing exactly what they want to do. 100%. Let me grab a caller if I could. This is Roger. How are you, sir?
Hey, Larry, what's up?
What's going on?
Still trying to make it. 1,500 to go.
Okay.
I have something. Have you ever heard of the Out of Reach Project Report, the annual Out of Reach Project Report?
I don't think so. Is that moving up the social ladder?
It's an annual report put together by the National Low Income Housing Coalition and J.P. Morgan that says what the minimum wage should be per state based on if it's 30%, if it's expected to pay for 30% of a two-bedroom apartment.
Got it.
So it comes out every summer. So in New York, the fair market rent for a two-bedroom apartment is $2,328.
Is that New York statewide or is that New York City?
Yes. Yep, New York statewide. But,
Statewide, okay.
But check this out. In order to afford this level of rent and utilities without paying more than 30% of income on housing, a household must earn $57,761 monthly or $93,131 annually, assuming a 40-hour week, 52 weeks per year. This level of income translates into an hourly minimum wage of $44.70 per hour. However, for the more expensive jurisdictions, which is downstate, New York City, it says it should be $52.92 an hour, and Long Island suburbs, $48.23 an hour. Westchester County, $45.23 an hour.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And you don't even want to know California. That's like the most expensive jurisdiction. It should be $77. Here's the thing. What I told you before about like if we were a ballot initiative state, one of the things that I would do, one of the things that I would run to help make sure that small businesses don't have to pay the price of a minimum wage that matches that, I would do what they do for companies when prisoners come out of prison and get jobs. Have the government subsidize 85 to 100% of their labor costs, okay? for small mom and pop shops, for startup worker cooperatives, for franchises, and what's this other type of business? Small businesses.
That's a huge chunk. I had spoken about that concept in the past, right? One of the things I said was, if you were to hire a felon for the first 2 years, anyone in New York State who hires a felon for the first 2 years, you don't pay any payroll tax on that felon, none, for 2 years. Now, for those who don't know, payroll tax is almost doubles the salary that a business owner pays. So if I'm paying you $20 an hour, my payroll taxes in New York State are something like $17, $18. So I'm actually paying $38 an hour. You're only getting 20. So if you remove that, it allows me to pay you more or to hire you instead of someone else to save money. And you do it for 2 years. Why? Because after 2 years, you've either shown your value and I keep you, or you leave and I bring in more felons. And I start basically training my felon population. We know already that if a felon works for 5 years, that's a magic number. We know this, the data's in. Once a felon works for 5 years, the odds of them going back to jail are less than someone who's never been convicted. I could see a similar plan for someone who's maybe trying to buy a house or young or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Did I lose you?
That's something that I would run if we were allowed to. You know what also saves businesses money?
What?
Single payer healthcare, baby. This way,
all right, not ready to go down that road. Not ready to go down that road. Roger, I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you so much. Look, I think the concept of helping felons stay out of jail is good for all of us, right? And if you want to cut taxes on someone, that doesn't affect someone else getting hammered. And instead, if that person now gets 2 years of work, now they have a resume, maybe the owner likes them and wants to keep them, maybe not, but then someone else will pick them up, whatever the case may be. If they can get those 5 years, we saved a lot of money because they're not going back in prison and we're not paying for them to be in prison anymore. So I think it really does help in that regard. So there are ways we can fix this, as we talk about, but we never do. Wade over on X says, even if you target funds to the poor, it ultimately funnels up to the elite portfolios. And here's the reason why, Wade, because we never just give the money out. If you're gonna bail people out, just bail them out. Or don't, but just bail them out. Don't give them to some other group that makes all the money. You are correct. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.
Okay, have a great rest of your day. Thanks, bye.